Sin will take you farther than you are willing to go.
Yes.
Keep you longer than you are willing to stay, and cost you more than you are willing to pay. In the early days at the manifesto, I have been in class. I say, yeah, one more year did they juice it, it's carry and throw out of this meeting. I used to become young. I'm like, get out of here. The version of us that people see today, they don't know. So when I see some people, I say, don't worry, they will grow. Look, let me tell you something. Don't bother to rise if you plan to fall. The God of second chance is not an African. It's not even a Nigerian. Many times when I see people talk about, all these pastors, all these men of God, they are doing this, they are doing that. Not many people are talking about pastoral abuse. There's so much pastoral abuse that is going on. When shepherds bleed, there are a lot of bleeding shepherds that you labor over people, you sacrifice your time, your talent, your treasure over them, and then they flip and turn around and become the enemy of your soul.
Hello everyone, my name is Precious Ochiagha and this is a special edition of Ask the Girl. If you remember or you've been with us since the beginning, you would know that our first edition, we celebrated an icon for his 54th birthday. And today that icon is with us and is having a special celebration in this month of October. He will be celebrating his 35 years in ministry. That is a very, very long time in the ministry. So join me as we welcome Pastor Olumide Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
How you doing
I'm here.
today, sir?
We are here again.
Another celebration, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, we
Congratulations.
thank God. God has been faithful. So it's
And
been.
today we are introducing you as Pastor,
Yes, sir.
not Doctor Olumide
It's Pastor
Emmanuel.
Olumide Emmanuel, the man of God.
How has it been, sir? 35 years.
Oops. It's been a journey. It's been a journey of grace, a journey of mercy, and a journey of God's faithfulness. It's been a journey of learning, a journey of growing, and a journey of transformation. So through it all, God has been faithful.
Yeah. So 35 years, meaning you started ministry at 19.
Yeah, I got born again as a teenager. By the age of 19, I was already in ministry, leading a campus, a Bible study secretary on campus, doing village outreaches, and hosting different teaching seminars and events, authoring books, developing tracts for outreaches and all this stuff. Then by the age of 21, I was ordained and I started pastoring actively. So I started ministry at 19, started pastoring at the age of 21.
Starting ministry at 19. So that means basically your entire youth.
Well,
Your entire youthful experience was in ministry.
And that's one of the secrets of my journey.
Wow.
The fact that I started early and I discovered purpose early. So the mistakes of the youth has been rectified and covered by the grace of God and the mercy of God. Because, there are mistakes you make when you are young in the morning season of your life. That by the time you do well in the afternoon and in the evening, nobody even remember that there was a morning mistake. So starting early has been one of the greatest assets. Discovering God early, discovering purpose early, and staying true to that purpose. So if I look back, the last 37 years of my life, I've never backslided. I've never had to doubt God. I've never had to second guess my calling. So that has been, so it's just been, and that level of clarity and understanding and conviction changes a lot of things. When you already know where you're going to, it's difficult for anything to distract you. So
was there like a change of trajectory for your kind of life you were living before?
What life is a teenager living? I was in school. I got born again on campus, and the only life we were living was the life of immorality. So, and what is a useless life now? So, but when I came in contact with Jesus, got born again, it just changed everything. And I was still on campus, so everything still started on campus. I've actually written a book that I'm going to be releasing this month in commemoration of the 35th year in ministry. It's called Ministers, Mistakes, and Ministry. Unveiling common mistakes that ministers make in life and ministry, and It's an amazing book. Writing the book and then reading the book during the review session, I'm like, wow. And one of the things that became more real and pronounced is the impact of the campus fellowship and the campus outreach, campus life. You know, it used to be Scripture Union, Christian Union, Swagber Union. They used to insult us, SU, and also. But looking back at my journey, I cannot but be thankful to God, because that aspect of our lives puts in us a solid foundation, built us, to be disciples. And many of those things, as a matter of fact, I wrote in the book that I don't know how campus fellowships are today, but I wish they were still the way, or I hope they are still the way it was for us. Because I'm telling you, almost everybody I know that were together on campus in fellowship are doing amazing things for God till now. Wow. It was a blessing. Yeah.
So at 19, did you wake up and tell your parents, I'm going into ministry? Or they just saw it, that you have already gone safe before you told them? How did the family take it?
As a matter of fact, I told them I'm not going to school again. You see, in our days, this full-time ministry thing was very heavy. People, it's not by education, it's by revelation. Okay. People leave school in final year and go into ministry. Yeah, final year to coach medical student, engineering. Unfortunately, many of them later regretted it. So I was on that path. Oh, I've been called, I'm not going to school, I just want to face ministry. But mercy said no. Mercy, God just had mercy on me to be able to help me to say, okay, just finish this. And so I actually, started, but I told them, look, I'm not going to do this anymore. So my first education was national diploma. And that's all I had for probably almost 15 years. Wow. Because it was just, before I now realized that you are just wasting away your life. And now today, I have 2 masters, I have 2 PhD. And so I now had to retrace my step and make necessary adjustments where necessary. But it was just naturally, it's not by education, by revelation. So my encounter with God, everything has been documented in the book. In fact, I don't know. I just read the book again last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, wow. Am I the one that really wrote this thing? So I'm really happy at the way so my salvation experience, the encounter with God that led to my call, and all the journey, everything was documented, because the first chapter of the book, the introduction talks about my encounter with God, how I got saved, and how I met with God, how I received the call of God in 1987. And then the first chapter is on the secret of my journey. The secret of my journey. Because one of the things I've come to realize is that we don't document things in this part of the world. We don't have statistics. We don't have, so there are a lot of people that come, they grow, they do amazing stuff, but there's no biography, no autobiography. So they die with the seed. So we know the fruit of many people's results. Oh, the secret of great men is in their story. Behind every glory there is a story. Yet nobody is telling us the story. So you now begin to ask yourself, okay, we see the glory. Where is the story? So documenting those seeds are very, very important, because it is the seed that will help us to be able to replicate the fruit. So if I know the seed that produces the fruit, the reason why we still have oranges is because when God created the first orange tree, it came with fruit. The fruit came with seed. As we continue to sow orange seed, we'll continue to have orange fruit. So success can be duplicated. Success can be replicated when we know the seeds that produce it. So success leaves clues. So what people need to do is to identify the seeds that produce the fruits in their life and help people know the seed so that people can replicate their results. So what I did in chapter 1 of the book is the secret of my journey. What are the things that I consider to be the seed that produce the fruits that people see today? And I documented that. In chapter 2 of the book, I dealt with things I will do differently.
Yeah.
So if I'm to start up, because even, I just had a major annual sustainability summit. We did that just recently, and someone was still asking the question, if you have to start all over again, if you are back to your 30-year-old self, what will you do? It's the same question, and it's already in the book. If you have to start ministry all over again, what will you do differently? If you have to start business all over again, what will you do differently? If you have to start life all over again, what will you do differently? So I focused on answering that question. Yeah. So, okay, if I'm to start all over again, these are the mistakes I have made. These are the things I will do differently. Then on and on and on. Yeah. The main chapter where I documented the mistakes that ministers make, I documented about 111 mistakes. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, and it's been God all the way. It's been God all the way. Yeah. So I discovered God early, and that's been a major blessing.
So just a little bit about some of the mistakes that you made or things you would have done differently. If you could just share a bit of some for us.
One of the things I would have done differently is to take database management, database development, data capturing, and data management and data mining. I'll take it serious because in 1992, I started a singles beach event. It was an annual event that takes place every Easter Monday. And we're gathering about 600 youths every Easter Monday. We'll gather more. Yeah. We have what they call Molwe in those days. Yeah, so you don't know. So Molwe in those days. And we used to go to Badagry Beach every Easter Monday. But no database. That was 1992, 93, and then by 1998, I started what is known as Wisdom for Singles. That later became arguably the largest singles ministry in the whole of the world. And CNN, BBC, different people were coming down, who is this guy? And I was very young, I was just in my late 20s. And we're gathering 15,000 people at the National Stadium every 3 months. But don't forget, there was no Google, there was no internet banking. So they loved it, but those data, it's something else. Now, for instance, I pastor a church that is going to be 29 years old in a few weeks. And now, do you know how many tens of thousands of people have attended the church? Do you know how many tens of thousands of people have come through that church? Imagine that you have an accurate data of all these people. So it took time for us to even understand, that aspect. So that's one thing that I would do differently. I would have started taking media more serious. Radio and television. And then I would have also taken social media more serious. It wasn't just until a few years ago that I started actively going into the use of social media. Then I will not also be naive at thinking that everybody is like me. Because starting out as a young man, young teenage boy, call of God, I just thought that, I'm a Christian, I'm genuine, so everybody is genuine. So I take people at their word. When they tell me, this happened, I just believe. And it was later I realized that people tell lies, Christians tell lies, some pastors are fake, some Christians are not regenerated. It took a while. Even when I became a pastor, it still affected me as a pastor. Because people will just tell me something, I will go and act upon it, not knowing that an adult can lie. A Christian can lie. One very terrible one was we had a camp meeting where the leaders of the ministry, supposed leader, coordinators, we had a coordinators meeting and they were telling me about an incident that happened, and the people telling me were older than me. They were my father's age. So how will you believe that an elder can lie? And they were saying it with all confidence. I was there with that same venom. Me too, I entered church, called the people that were involved, sat them down. Yeah, sit down. You people, all the things we are teaching you are a disgrace. Hey, we teach you, if you are not born again, you have to be a Christian, you have to live for God, you cannot be in church and be serving devil. How can you, upon all this holiness, we are teaching you this, teaching you that? I was just raking. But the way I was talking, and they were just looking at me like this. Because it's like I was speaking Chinese, I was speaking Japanese. Because everything I was saying is as if they don't even know what I'm talking about. I said, why are you people looking at me like that? Are you saying you don't know? Were you not there? They said that. They were like, I said, come, hold on. Why are you people behaving as if you don't know? Then the lady said, sorry, sir. I've not been in church for the past 3 months. I've been on youth service. This is my first Sunday, so I don't know. I don't even know I don't know, because if somebody said they have seen me, I don't understand, because I just came. In fact, I came back 2 days ago. This is my first time in church in 3 months. I've not been around. I'm on youth service. The second one said, I don't even know what. I had to now go out and call the supposed elder. So when I got there, can you imagine? The devil is a liar. These children, they are even bold to face my face and tell me he's a liar. Come and face them. Come on. He said, actually, actually, I was not really there. But I just saw that something was. I now asked somebody what's happening there. I said, and you came to a workers' class, a ministers' meeting, camp meeting, to be talking with us. So that's an example. So I won't do now. If you like, be an apostle, be a pope. When you are talking, I will listen, but I will not go and act on something that I cannot have. So those are some of the lessons, mistakes that I made, trusting people, blindly, not taking, media serious, social media serious, and then allowing people to use and abuse you. Many times when I see people talk about, all these pastors, all these men of God, they are doing this, they are doing that, not many people are talking about pastoral abuse. There's so much pastoral abuse that is going on. When shepherds bleed, there are a lot of bleeding shepherds that you labor over people, you sacrifice your time, your talent, your treasure over them, and then they flip and turn around and become the enemy of your soul. So you have a lot of pastors that are bleeding of all the sacrifices they have made. And do you know what it means to use your house rents to rescue somebody? Use your own children's school fees to rescue somebody because you thought that, this is a health matter, the wife is giving birth, and they say I want to do CS. Then you are now begging your wife, my son, don't worry, God will do our own. You now carry your son's school fees, you carry your son's, your family rents, you used to take care of them. They say, somebody has promised us, we are expecting money, we are collecting salary, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And then your own child is being sent out of school, but you can't go to them, you are managing your family, and then the same people you do that for. How much did you even borrow us? Are you not a man of God? Do you know? And you cannot fight. Do you know the kind of pain that you have to go through to, labor over somebody? They come into the church, you pay their school fees, you pay their rent, you teach them, you feed them, you do everything, and then you are trusting God that, these people are laboring over. God, one day, God will settle them. They will become part of the church, and then God now finally settles them. And they say, I don't believe in tithing. And then they start arguing. You don't believe in tithing, but you believe in spending the one that other people brought that will be using to take care of you. Sure. There's a family in church that, in that family, they have 8 children. 7 out of the 8 children, our church scholarship is the one that took care of the entire family. The man never stepped into our church once.
7 children. Never stepped in.
The man never one day stepped into the church. I never got a thank you to say, not me, but just to say, just write a letter to the church to thank the church for what they are doing for the family. True. Do you understand? So, but you see, all those things are things that helps us to grow. Then you now come to a place where you understand that, because when we all started out, many of the things I say and do today, I have been foolish before. I have made mistakes before. That's why I speak with boldness and confidence and conviction. Yeah. I'm talking of things we have seen, we have handled. We are not just talking. So that's what brought us to a place where now God is your source. So
yes.
If you look up to any man, you will end up in shame. So God is your source. He can use anything as a resource. And that's what brought us to a place where we now realize that you will reap what you sow, not where you sow. So if you are sowing into the life of people and you expect that you will reap from them, you will end up in shame. So those experiences, even though painful, was a lecture for our maturity to understand God instead of pursuing people. So it's a lot of, a lot that one has learned. It's a massive book that anyone that anyone that really wants to, should get the book. As a matter of fact, I'm making up my mind that the book is not going to be cheap. It's going to be extremely expensive because of the value of what I've seen is there. Yeah, people say my finance book are expensive. This one, I'm going to deliberately and intentionally make it so expensive that if you get a copy, it will be that you are really serious about life. If you don't want to buy, leave it there. That is what, because I sat down and I'm like, these are destiny truth. Yeah. That if me, I even knew some of these things, I wouldn't have made some of those mistakes. So we're trusting God for. So the conference that I'm hosting, I'm giving it for everyone. Anyone that registers will get it. So, but just for anyone that is listening to this after that, then you need to pursue it. Go and register.
So just like you just spoke about HOTS and trusting people being misused, how have you managed to handle HOTS, especially when you started so young and people have had to hurt you emotionally and you still have to keep pushing? So how do you show up, keep showing up?
Yeah, I didn't always manage it well. I had to grow through it and learn through it. Okay. In the early days at the manifesto, I have been in class. I say, one more year today, juice it, it's carry and throw out of this meeting. I used to become young. I'm like, get out of here. So, because many times the version of us that people see today, they don't know. So when I see some people, I say, don't worry, they will grow. So there are things I see pastors and see people do today. I know their level. Yeah. I know why they are doing. So I don't judge people because there are things we have done that you were not aware because you didn't know us 30 years ago. You only knew us for 20 years, and in the last 25, 30 years, we have been good. But the first 5 years, you don't know what we have done. You don't know the mistakes we have made that mercy has covered for us. So one of the things that happened is I had to grow through it. And one thing that has helped me is from my early stage, I've been a person of the word. I've been a person of quiet time, studying my Bible, reading my soul. I cry. So sometimes I will leave church, I will get home, I will cry. Sometimes I would leave church, I would be in the car, I would just cry in the car. There were days even when there was no car, you just say, God, I have certificates now. Can't I go and get a job? Is this what I'll be doing with my life? And all kinds of things. But through it all, one of the things that I've come to realize that the Holy Spirit now heals you and gives you a revelation. So I have some series of teachings that people, how does this guy get this revelation? He's born out of struggle. How to avoid getting not in church, part 1 to 5. Yes. How to, when no one believes you. When shepherds bleed. Yeah. So there are topics that you begin to come out of because God is healing you. Yes. He says you now use, he says comfort others by the comfort wherewith the Lord has comforted you. So we now use that to become a tool to now help other people. So it's been a journey, but now by level of understanding, number one, God is your source. That's a major revelation that has controlled my life for the past 27 years. And he said, you don't know the freedom and the breakthrough when you just understand that God is my source. If you like, be a billionaire. If you like, come with anything. I'm not looking up to anybody. So with that, you can speak with conviction. You can do what needs to be done without fear or favor. Number two, that you will reap what you sow, not where you sow. Major revelation. So as I'm blessing you with the whole of my heart without any expectation of anything from you. But I know that God that sees in secret will reward in the open, and he has never failed. And those are, because see, as a pastor, until you get to a place where you are in a place where you don't need anybody, where you're not looking up to anybody's tithe, offering, or seed, where you know that God is able, it's a place of freedom and liberty that not many people have been able to experience. And many times, people think you have all the money. That's why you are doing that. No, it's because we did that. That's why we had all the money.
Okay. So another thing is that 5 years is a long time. Consistency. How have you managed to be consistent? Because there are people that, this ministry journey is not easy. Things come along the way that can just throw you off. So
it's been a function of foundation, revelation, and association. foundation, revelation, and association. Number one, the foundation. In fact, in that book, I now began to say that I didn't even, that this campus thing really did a lot of good things. You know, it's like a revelation. This campus thing really helped. So even though there were some excesses of, religion and tradition and, excesses and imbalance, because in those days it was so bad. There's somebody like you are fire straight. With all this, you're wearing trousers. In those days, even to shake a sister was wrong. You cannot drink from the same cup. If you drink from a cup, I drink from a cup, that means we have kissed. Because it was so bad, they went into a level, but that issue of holiness, quiet time, prayer, fasting, those things there. So they really have. So that foundation of faith, quiet time, reading. I've read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation every year for over 36 years. So there's no way you can have that kind of. I fasted minimum of 1 day a week for 35 years. So now, in the last 15 years, I do at least 2 days a week. I do 3 days drive every month. So there is no way you can have that kind of level of discipline. And those things were put in us. I do my quiet time. I read my Bible. I have my devotional. Those things, you are not just waking up. You have a relationship with God. You have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. So that foundation is one thing that has kept me. Number two is revelation. Early, because I've read an average of 1 book per week for over 35 years. Every week I'm reading, per week. So you are forever learning. So there is no way you can have, he's a man of wisdom, he's the repertoire of the community. There is no way you can read. When you open your mouth, something will drop because the thing full ground where you don't put inside. Out of the belly, the thing will begin to flow. So those things have now also helped us to learn. So when you read books, you now realize that, okay. Because earlier on, the 3 things they warned us against: women, money, and pride. Yeah. And these are things that I heard when I was a teenager. And I saw stories of people that used to be very great, that are no more great. In the book, I shared, when I got to I have a chapter on when your mistakes mock your miracle. So I explained the dynamics of mistakes and miracles before the chapter on the catalogs of mistakes. Okay. And in the chapter on when your mistake mocks your miracle, I shared how that as a young boy in 1992. Yeah. In 1992, I was opportuned to be the director of missions for an international organization, ministry. And by virtue of that position, I was sitting down with every great man in the country. So from the E.A. Adeboyes to the Ezekiel to the Bishop Michael Konko, Pastor Rabino, all the general overseers of ministries, Foursquare, from the 90s, I was sitting there because by virtue of that position in Maurice Aodo World Evangelism, Reverend S. Dada, who is now Bishop Dada, was the national coordinator. Myself and Badele Ogumbanwo, now Olubanwo, he's in Boston now. So and Bishop Michael Konko was like the one coordinator. So every Maurice Aodo meeting, Maurice Aodo is coming to Nigeria, they are gathering. When all these fathers are gathering to do every meeting, I will be there. I'm the one writing the minute of the meeting. By virtue of that access, I hear them talking of stories of people they started ministry together. They will just be talking, no, my gbàdúrà fún, ó ti fún ọmọ ọjọ́ lóyún, ministry money, the way about arrogance, I was hearing stories. So the same thing I heard on campus, women, money, and pride. I'm now seeing the fathers. Talk about it too. Now talking about people they started together, and the names they will be mentioning, there was no Google. And I'll be wondering, who is that one again? Their name there is like a byword. You don't even know their name. But these are people that they were even looking up to another. Then later we read books like Finishing Strong, where people like Billy Graham was now talking of people that they also started with that are nowhere to be found. So that revelation is something that, look, let me tell you something. Don't bother to rise if you plan to follow. The God of second chance is not an African. It's not even a Nigerian. Mm-hmm. If you fail, people will never forget. They will finish you for it. So, not even in these days of social media. So, don't bother to rise if you plan to fall, because a sin will take you further than you are willing to go. Yes. Keep you longer than you are willing to stay, and cost you more than you are willing to pay. So once you have that revelation, what are we looking for? So that's number 2. Number 3 is association. I have surrounded myself with good friends and good accountability partners. So I have mentors. Because don't tell me who is under you until you tell me who you are under. Don't tell me who you are speaking to until you tell me who is speaking to you. So as I am here now, there are people that if I see their phone call like this, even the phone call, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, I'll be bending head on top of phone. Sometimes you have to tell me, my phone only now. Why are you bending head? To tell you that I have 5 core mentors like that. That if I hear, Olumide, so I have people, so you have people above you. I have friends that don't call me man of God. Hey, Olu. So we see that, yeah, don't try that. You know, they will face you. There is nothing. Even if you have 10,000 members, they have 500 members. We are in that. I have people that are my friends that I have friends that have 40,000 members, 50,000, 70,000. I have friends that have 25,000. But when I tell them, Joko, sit down there, they listen because they know it's not about. So I also have people that, if you hear their name, but when they talk, I listen because accountable. These are roommates on campus. People we grew up together. People that know you before you are anything. They know that, hey, forget that side. So those associations, accountability partner, people that can talk sense to your head, people that your wife can call, say, Boris or you will know that. Yeah? So those things are the things that has helped us to stay focused and stay sane, so that you are not looking for anything, and God has been faithful.
Wow. This episode is really a special edition. Really a very special edition. Also, one final question before we talk about your anniversary program coming up. How have you managed family and ministry? Because it's I don't know the word to use, but the gap is always there with people. You see people that are successful in ministry, but in the families, or they are successful in family and the ministry does not scale through. So
Yeah, that's part of the things that I documented in the book also, because majority of people live a life of disorder. Okay. So it is God first, then family, before ministry. Before the very minute you put ministry above family, that's going to be a trouble. But see, the problem is when you are a founder of a ministry, it now becomes very thin line to differentiate between God and ministry. So sometimes you are like, will I now disobey God because of this man or this woman? But anything that is not about your relationship with God, that you think is an instruction from God, family will always come first. So that's number 1. Then number 2 is to understand how to manage the dynamics of family. So it is quantity time at work, quality time at home. And that's the principle that has helped me. Quantity time at work, quality time at home. So as I'm now, I iron clothes, I wash, I do school run, I do cook, I do all kinds of. Why? Because when I'm at home, I'm at home. And everybody knows. When I'm not around, they miss me because they know that if he's here now, he will have done pancake for me. Sometimes I come and Dad, thank God. I say, why you can't do it? He say, no, I don't want use your pancake. So those kind of things you have to, don't worry, I'll do for you, we'll pack. So those kind of things, you don't want to take me to school tomorrow. When you take me, those kind of things, you quality. So even if it's one day you are there in a week, if it's 2 days, they know, say, the man there. And then you also have to make time for, periodic holidays. So for us, we have values that we live by as a family. So family time is sacrosanct. Okay. So birthdays, wedding anniversary, family holiday, all those things are there. If I bring my diary now, you'll see there. Rest is there. Family day is documented. So that when you open, you say, that one, rest, non-negotiable. That one, family, non-negotiable. So those are things that, because if people miss it, if your religion and your ministry is not working at home, what are you expecting? Okay. So you better make it, because that's your normal. Anybody can leave you, anybody can jack, anybody can look at. The real ministry is family. And, the issue about family and parenting is very, very, complex. Yeah. In the sense that until your children get married and begin to give birth to children, your report card is not complete.
Okay. That's
So if you have children now, you can't say you have done well
You're not done.
until they are married and they have children. And they are able to replicate a good home. That's when you say, okay, I did well. That your children are looking good now. They say, they are Christians, so I've raised good children. Shorty marry. Have they been able to choose a good spouse? Have they now been able to produce children and replicate it? So you see, the report card, you don't know how good, because you can. I have seen good parents raise bad children. I've seen parents with questionable character raise amazing children. So it's a very complex dynamics that you can do everything right and still be wrong, because there are many factors and forces that control a lot of it. So God helping us, God has been faithful. We've made our share of mistakes. We've learned through it, but thank God for where we are.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So before we round up, can you just give us more information about the 35 years?
So on Thursday, the 31st of October, and Friday, the 1st of November, I'm hosting 2 days of what I call the Global Ministers, Pastors, and Leaders Conference. And the reason why we call it global is because we're expecting people from all over the world to be able to benefit from this. That's why we have a virtual option where when people register, they have a virtual link where they can be a part of it. And we're talking to pastors, we're talking to ministers, parachurch leaders, non-governmental leaders, and we're talking to leaders of organizations and leaders of business. And what I've done, it was not part of my plan last year, but early this year, during the fasting and prayer, just that you could just let 35 years pass like that. No, you need to do something. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? So I said, okay, let's put this together. So we're going to be hosting a plethora of amazing speakers. And I've been doing a series of Insta Live, because if I have to invite everybody that I would have loved to invite, the speakers may be more than the all can carry. So we have a lot of them. So Pastor Tony is built to be there. Reverend Samaye DME is built to speak. Reverend Funke Adejumo, Reverend Amos Fenwa, Pastor Charles Osazua, Pastor Shegun Abraham, Apostle Charles Abu, Pastor Pojo Emade, Pastor Yemi Davis, Pastor Bolaji Do, Pastor Godma Akilabi, Pastor Lekon Adegua, my wife will be speaking. So it's going to be 2 days, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the morning, and then 5 p.m. to 8:30 in the evening. So there's morning session, there's evening session for the 2 days. And then people can register either as, virtual attendees, physical attendees, or fully residential attendees. So if you want to come from any part of the country or any part of the world, then you can also have opportunity to be able to stay with us at the venue. It's a Marriott Hotel in GRA in Ikeja. So maybe they have all the details and they can look at which one they can plug into. Then I've written the book. The book is about 600 pages. It's a massive book. It's about 600 pages. And what I'm now doing is, for those that will register for the virtual session, so we have virtual, then we have the gold, silver, and bronze. So the virtual session, we send them the book. So they get a soft copy of the book and they get a link. Then for the bronze registration, they will also get the book, and then they will attend the conference for the 2 days, and then there's also refreshment for the 2 days. And then for the silver, they will get the physical copy of the book, they will get the soft copy of the book, and then they will get the meals for the refreshment for the 2 days, and then they have like a VIP sitting. And then the gold is the one that is fully residential. For those ones who now have like full dinner together in the night. Then the next day we have full breakfast session. We have a hangout session. We're going to do a lot together for those that can afford to, because the hotel, of course, the money is for the hotel and the feeding and all this. So it's an opportunity that no one should miss. So I will speak to pastors. If you're a pastor now and you have your leaders, come with your pastors. If you are a young minister, you want to learn about ministry, you want to listen to, because I told all the speakers, whatever God puts in your heart to come and say, no topic. Wow. Just come and share whatever God is putting in your heart. And I know what I'm seeing in the spirit, that meeting it's going to be something else. It's just going to be something else. So you don't want to be on the other side of history. You want to be in the middle of making history. So you need to make that meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations once again. So you heard it from Pastor Olumide Emmanuel. And this is just 30 minutes of a 2 days conference. You can't imagine the gems that will be dropped during that conference. So if you want to hear more, learn more from many ministers' perspective, including Pastor Olumide, the best place to be is at Marriott for the 35 years ministry celebration. The link to register will be displayed on the screen, and after this we will have the different options and anyone you would want to subscribe and register for. And as you know, this is Ask the Guru, a special edition, and my name is Precious Ochiagha. Thank you very much. Follow us on all our social media platforms at my CSTV Global on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, my CSTV Global. Click the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. See you next time.